You're live.
Our secretary.
Gone live.
You're not even left-handed, are
I
you?
can't do it on that one right now.
You're not even
got
left-handed,
COVID.
are you?
Oh my God. Yes, I am.
You are, you're lefty too? Oh,
They both
Brendan
got
backwards,
COVID.
so is Kathy.
No, they're not vaccinated.
I know, I told you, it's so small. I know, tier stuff is stupid
I was
small.
thinking about
I
getting a
know
third
it's-
one today.
But you know what? That is a speed suit material. It's all super tiny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why you would think.
Oh,
I just
So now when you're on
Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
All right, guys, we're gonna kick out the business stuff here. Adam and Tanya aren't here tonight. He was supposed to be at a wedding this week, so.
But he's got COVID.
Jamie Nix, oh my
But he's got
God.
COVID.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
They
that.
both got COVID.
Yeah, they thought they had a good immune
They didn't get it vaccinated.
Neither have I, so.
Well, then I know mine's working because.
So honey, this is being taped and being put out, so.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, there you go.
I'm shocked that Mike, I can't hear that.
Tanya, get vaccinated.
I agree with him.
Okay, we want to thank all of our sponsors, our gold sponsor, DRH Investment and Advisory, that's Dave and Linda Hargraves. Yay, thank you for them to come back from England. And then we have now 8 bronze sponsors. We have DRB Home Services, that's Dave and Rita Bennett. He's a painter, anybody's interested in painting. JS Coaching Systems, that's our very own Johnny right there. John Slocum, and then Legacy Pools and Services. Steve Legacy builds pools, services pools, great guy. Longevity Wellness, Cynthia Clark, Dr. Cynthia, she's not here tonight, but she has all sorts of wellness things in her clinic, check it out. New Image Dentistry, Dr. Lisa Brewer right here, taking care of smiles all across Sarasota. Sarasota Home Advisors, that's Tanya, she's a realtor. Sunshine Pool Cleaning, Toby Hart, I don't know him, but friend of Adam's, cleaning pools. And Superfly Coaching, Adam, also not here tonight, but another coaching opportunity or sponsor. Do we have any new members
We
here?
do.
We do.
Yes.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
If you want to tell us a little bit about you and your name.
I'm Chris. I spoke to Marcus. Hi.
Hi.
I moved from New Jersey here 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to meet new
Where did you
by the shore,
Where, which town?
Middletown. Okay.
These are New Jersey people, if you can
I'm
tell.
going to Jersey Shore Triathlon Club.
Well, welcome. Have you done triathlons already, or?
Not here. I signed up for the Siesta Sprint
Okay,
Sunday.
okay.
All right.
There'll be a storm tent there, so go say hi to some of the peeps.
There may be a storm tent there.
No, Tina said she'd bring the tent.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So welcome,
Still up in
welcome.
the air.
Thanks for
Nice meeting
coming.
you. I talked to you after.
Yeah.
And we're a little light on members. We usually have between 20 and 30 people here, but summer is quiet time, so.
So race reports. We got 4 little race reports that we're gonna go over. Sirens and Mermen was on June 27th. Lisa B was there, so Dr. Brewer, tell us about it.
Well, it was beautiful weather. We had a lot of storm members participate and volunteer, so that was really fun.
Nobody got hit by a car.
Nobody got hit by a car. As you know, it's not a closed course.
This was also a siesta key
Okay,
race.
Bob.
Same guy who's
Yeah.
doing the
I'm
race
down.
next week.
Yeah, so, but the weather was absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have asked for more perfect conditions. And we had fun. What else can I say about it?
Yeah.
You brought the tent there. Everybody hung around the tent.
We had
That's
a
fun.
bunch of podiums.
Yes, we did have a.
Did Terry have enough awards to go around?
Well, I think it's interesting because he doesn't put the year or the age group or anything. It's
Right.
a generic
He
award.
just had like a.
That's perfect because there's usually a lot of hiccups and so it's perfect. Well, like I wasn't even registered, but I was registered. So once we got all that figured out, I got my little generic award, which is kind of cool. But so
Champagne table was cool.
the champagne
Yes,
table,
it was.
you were pouring heavy.
I'll tell you what, the
That was fun. It's a fun
bartenders,
little race.
the bartender at the champagne table was doing a wonderful job.
So the only thing I can say about Terry's races is that just to you know, don't have high expectations and you won't be disappointed.
Ironman,
Just have
that's for
fun.
sure.
Just have fun.
For somebody
So-
just coming into it, yeah, he does tend to run very kind of simple races, kind of like everybody in the pool. Well, I mean, everybody jump in all at once for the start and swim.
You gotta listen really carefully to the directions at the beginning of the race because sometimes they do change.
As he
Yeah,
started
it's more of
the race.
it's a good beginner race for people, cause it's not very stickler, like
Yeah.
time and.
What's the
where
deal
you
with the
have to
red
be,
tide
you know,
situation?
It makes the
It's there.
mistakes and be okay.
So
It's quite
Yes,
bad.
it is time.
it's quite bad.
It depends on the
It
particular.
depends on the day, it really depends on the day.
He does have a time.
The more
limit
rain we
now, so
have,
maybe
less
chips
red tide will be a
and, you know,
problem.
all that, but as far as.
Right now, we got
SAT,
onshore
yes, it
winds.
is.
Thing to check will
And
be,
it's not as strict.
check Meet Me
as
at
far
Blue,
as,
the
like, where your
Facebook
bib
group, to
is
see what the
located.
Friday swimmers say.
But it's a fun time.
It should, well, a lot of dead fish blew in apparently on the storm.
I
They were
posted a
gonna clean them up,
link,
there were a lot of them.
I posted a link on,
Yeah, I seen that.
yeah, and that, if you click on that link, it gives you stage report, and then it will give you.
Should I reel it back
tomorrow's
in?
report.
Like,
Okay, and then so the next race is Muscle Man. Jamie Nix was gonna share a little bit. He and I did an away race of 70.3. So take it over, Jamie Nix.
Well, it was in Geneva, New York, and beautiful countryside. The bike takes you between two lakes, two long finger lakes, and swim half a mile out, quarter mile over, half a mile back.
That's too many.
It was, the lake is kind of shallow at that point, but Ironman had brought in a couple dump trucks of sand and made a beach to take off on. So it starts on that, but then you exit on a boat ramp. So,
The water was cool.
and back around, yep, water was 70.3, believe it or not.
Really?
What's that?
Wow.
Yes, it is perfect for a sleeveless wetsuit. Perfect for a sleeveless wetsuit.
How was the altitude? I mean, like, did you notice a difference coming from here
No.
going up there?
No altitude. First 20 miles on the bike, relatively flat, some rolling hills. Then it starts a steady 10-mile climb to about mile 30. One little patch of crappy asphalt towards the back part. But then what you do is you leave Seneca Lake and you go over to Canoga Lake and then up Canoga Lake shore and then back over to Seneca Lake, and then it's down, when you're heading back to Seneca Lake, it's downhill for the whole ride back.
Another 10 miles or so is downhill.
Or more than 10
Maybe more than 10.
miles. So that brought the average back up.
And you're going through wheat fields and cornfields and
Pretty.
vineyards. It's beautiful.
Yeah, all vineyards, corn,
Lots of corn.
Amber waves of grain.
amber waves of grain.
Got that figured out, don't you?
It took me a while to get that.
And then the run was hilly, right?
The run was super hilly.
See, now I didn't get to do the run. The day was absolutely perfect for it. 70 degrees, no humidity, overcast. Beautiful. The first 70.3 I wasn't able to run, so I was sad. I was sad.
You just
He
rode a
was
bike.
sick, but he swam and biked. And I ran one loop.
Yeah,
And a
she
board.
did one loop and bailed, so.
So next year we're gonna train.
But it is, the run does, it is hilly.
Oh my gosh.
It's hilly.
It's like wall.
It's hilly
hills.
by our standards,
So what would
maybe.
you do for training to do hills?
I mean, if I just jogged in general, I probably would have been okay. So I haven't been good running at all, right? And then to take on 13 miles.
You've been
with
doing a
extreme
lot.
hills.
You've been, you were doing the bridge
It was
run.
just, the bike was enough for me. Like the bike was tough for somebody who hadn't been training.
What is
It
the
was
bike,
a tough
50
bike.
miles?
56.
Yeah.
And she brought the wrong shoes for the run. So she got blisters, and then that didn't help her attitude or the
Right.
second lap.
I kind of mentally aborted in the run, like long before I actually physically aborted. And it's a problem for Kathy Nix when it's a 2-loop run and you have an opportunity to go over the finish
didn't-
line.
And see, up until a week before the race, it was a 1-loop
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
So I think they were having trouble with volunteers, so they broke it down to a 2-loop run so they could get more water stops on the thing. So
It was a nice race.
So it was a good race. I would highly recommend it. And
Yeah.
take a couple days afterwards to check out the wineries. All those lakes are just littered with wineries and eats
And distilleries and breweries.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So Fort DeSoto, that was another local race on July 18th, and Bob was there. Bob, tell us a little bit about Top Gun.
Well, it was on July 18th, and they threw an incredible party for me because it was my birthday.
Awesome.
We had all these people who showed up
It
at
was
the race to
Bob-
celebrate me.
Bob's birthday and a triathlon broke out.
That's awesome.
Actually, it turned out to be, I was a little bit concerned about red tide because I kept hearing all this stuff about the Tampa area. It turned out the water was gorgeous. It was absolutely a beautiful day. There was maybe a little tiny smell right at the shore. No dead fish, tiny little bit of taste on your lips, but you swim, the swim was really nice. It was a slightly different course than we've been doing in the past. So you swim down, come out of the water, and you run up this little boardwalk into the parking lot for the transition area. And then, of course, everybody knows the bike is straight down Fort DeSoto to the big loop around and come back, and that was really well organized. And the run, it was almost 100% on the paved walkway.
This was a sprint?
Yeah. Well, they had Olympic distance, which I didn't see Julie. I didn't run into her at all.
I think it was an international distance, right?
Yeah, international distance. Because they can't do much more than a 20-mile bike ride. So,
Right.
so it was 20 mile on the bike.
Right.
I never saw her. I did run into Ken Campbell, which is not a, no one will remember this guy. Took second in his age group, and his girlfriend did the bike run.
Did you get first in your age group?
Yeah, everybody
Yes.
everybody else is dead. Actually,
It pays to show up.
That's it.
actually, I was
Just outlast them.
I was first out of 3.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
realize the other guy was right behind me.
That's
Really?
awesome.
He was drafting on you the whole time, yeah.
Normally, in my old life, I depended highly on my running ability. That
Just
doesn't
think of
work
what you would have
anymore.
done if you knew he was behind you.
Yeah, I couldn't have done anything.
Were you there, Heather? Did you
It
see
was
him
really
drive?
well, it was
No,
well
I'm just
organized.
talking smack.
They were not real strict. You know, sometimes they can be very strict about the triathlon people. You got to put your clothes here. You got to put that there. You can't throw anything
Like
down.
Ironman's real specific about it.
None
yeah.
of it. They didn't do any of that stuff, which they have done in the past because I've done this race a lot. So they didn't do any of that stuff.
Who put
And they were-
Top Gun on?
But yeah, Fred doesn't own that no more.
No, it's the guys from Outspoken Bikes.
So Leo was there.
Yeah,
He
and
did some
yeah,
nice
Leo was in charge of the water.
Right.
He was terrific.
Yeah, Leo's
He was
always
so encouraging, and he spent most of the time in the water, cheering people on.
And for our new guy, Fort DeSoto is just north of us. I don't know how familiar you are with the area, but there's a series of 3 races usually every year, and this Top Gun race there. Occasionally even some others. It's a great venue for racing.
Escape from Fort DeSoto.
Because it's a closed bike course. They close off this part for it. You know, little open water swim. It's a really nice area to race, and it's drivable in the morning. So we all like it. It's just over the St. Pete Bridge over Sunshine Skyway.
Did they start you from the north parking lot?
There's the old, the green back, the old first triathlon.
That whole road.
And they're gonna run it again on the same course.
When is that?
October, I think.
What is it?
I think there's a couple promotional groups that are doing.
I was gonna say there's,
Game On.
Game On is doing one in November there.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Okay.
And the guy who took over multi-race,
Which is
which is
Integrity
Raw.
multi-sport, I think is
Raw.
what it's called.
multi-sport, yeah,
Integrity
he's
multi-sport.
doing a series of 3. So he's picking up where multi-race left off.
Left off. So next year there'll be a series of 3 there.
I
There's
only
series
wish they
next
would
year.
This year.
repave the road.
Yes.
The road's a little.
We all
The
wish
road's
they
rough.
would.
Yeah, yeah.
But where you go out of the transition and back into the transition, that's a whole brand new road.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll carry it forward.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, and then, I guess just a real brief finance and, membership report from our bride.
So the expenses for June were pretty minimal. Beginning checking account balance on the 1st of June was $15,486.08, and the closing balance on the 30th of June was $15,428.68. So basically a net monthly total of negative $57.48. We had a total of 98 individual memberships and 53 family memberships for a total of 151 memberships as of, actually those are the numbers for July.
Perfect.
Kathy, do you want 2 other reports?
I mean, we definitely have over 200 members.
And I think,
And
your lovely husband.
Just renewed.
Okay.
Yeah, you renewed us, right, babe?
He has
did,
2
yeah.
other, he has 2 other race reports.
Oh, go ahead.
Todd, go.
Go for it, Todd. We didn't have them. What races? What are you talking about?
So, Game On, Treasure Coast was done Hutchinson Island. I love that course. That was the state championships.
This is Florida?
This is Florida.
It's on the other
It's
coast.
on the other coast. The swim is in the intercoastal. It's flat. It's a great swim. In out, the bike course is basically closed. They literally block the road on both ends of A1A. And there's police, and they stop every single car. So, and then there's probably 12 different cop cars around anyway, as well. So it's very, very safe. And then the run is on a sidewalk. So
On A1A as well?
on A1A going back up towards Fort Pierce, to the north jetty.
So out and back on both bike and run, out and back?
Yes. So bike goes south and the run goes north.
So should we consider that one for the race series next year?
I would. It's a state championship race for age group and everything else. So and it's also the high school championships as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And these Game On people do a nice race.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what we did.
That's what y'all
yeah.
did when y'all went to Key Largo.
Yeah, Key Largo was Game On.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Willie and Brian. They're
That's
from
Willie.
They used to be multi-school.
multi-race.
Multi-race, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and they got Sand Key coming up in
Oh, they're
Clearwater
the
Correct.
ones.
Yeah,
in
they're gonna be-
September.
Yeah.
And that is a race
That
series
is a race
race.
series race.
In September, there's a race that is a team, race, just so you know, in Clearwater.
And that's drivable. That's drivable in the morning.
So that'll be a beach swim.
Did you do another one too, dude?
I did the national championships for Clydesdales in Chattanooga.
In Chattanooga? How
So
was that?
I won Clydesdales in Fort Pierce.
Fantastic.
And then Chattanooga, we seriously need some hills.
So Chattanooga turned you on to some hills.
I had a personal best for the swim, which was nice, especially since there wasn't even any current. But
You're in the river, it's a river?
yeah, you're in the river,
And no current.
and there was no current. They had shut the dam off 2 days before. There was
Okay.
literally no current. But it was a personal best for that, and then, but the bike literally just, it wasn't my legs, it was my knees.
This was a sprint distance or?
It was sprint. I could have done either one, but I chose the sprint because I knew that there was gonna be hills.
So you went to Tennessee to do a sprint?
I went to Tennessee to do the sprint.
And how'd you do?
33rd in the nation.
Fantastic. Congratulations. That's awesome. Chattanooga is a beautiful venue for race, the beautiful little town for races.
Very interesting the way they set that up though. You had to leave your bike the night before.
Most national races you do.
Had to leave your bike the night before. Really strict on, very, very strict on certain things.
Like
So,
how your bike's positioned, your stuff, and
where
the
your
front
bike's
wheel.
positioned, exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, it was the same way Willie usually does a little bit that way, but they packed us in. They had 8 bikes on a rack.
It's usually 6 to 8.
So I guess I got used to last year when it was only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Don't get used to that.
Very often.
So we had, John, we had the hills training, that was fun.
Yeah, we went up to Claremont for a training session up there. It was actually Rainbow Claremont, and it was a blast. I believe everybody had a good time. I'm looking at putting together another one, maybe two between now and GFT. They will be they'll be self-supported. Rather than the first one, we kind of all tried to kind of wait around, it's kept together. But being as we're getting closer and closer to GFT, it'll be a self-supported ride. Team up with people if you want. You don't if you want. You go as fast as you want. But whatever, we'll end up in the same place and go out for lunch. But yeah, I'm thinking that the 15th is not going to work. Doesn't work for me of this month because I have to work. But next month, if we can't make it out to where it falls on Rainbow River, I would do a Saturday ride and a Sunday clay trail. And if you don't know clay trail run. Clay Trail Run is a world-renowned back trail. The fire roads is what they used to be. It's coming to an end. The Clay Trail will no longer exist. I would say 3 years from now, it'll probably all be paved, but they're just breaking the main road section. They're going to pave first.
But what is it? It's like 6 mile loop.
It's 9.6 miles around, but you can do it out and back. If you do it out and back one way, there's very few hills. If you go out and back the other way, there's a lot of hills. But if you do the whole 9 mile loop, there's 750 feet of climbing.
It's
hilly.
beautiful.
It's hilly.
beautiful.
But
it's gorgeous though. You get up on
it's
top of the
beautiful,
hills
yeah.
and you're looking out over.
And it's clay. It's soft that you're
Yeah.
running. It's nice.
So bring your old sneakers.
Labor Day weekend would be a great weekend. to do
That's a
that.
possibility.
Yeah,
It's a
no.
So
possibility.
John, you'll create an event whenever
I'll
you decide
create
to
an
do it
event
so
where
that people can
yeah.
join
Well,
in.
Rainbow
Is
River,
GFT, is that in October? Sorry.
That's October 23rd.
Okay.
San Key is September 25th.
Right, so I gotta look at the whole space to fit it in.
But what was,
St. Anthony's
what's the
is,
next,
He'll do it.
when is the next Rainbow River? That's
Rainbow River's August
The next
14th.
Rainbow River is August 14th, I'm not sure what it's gonna be. Oh, no, wait, yeah, Rainbow River is August 14th, he has to set a date for the next one.
Okay, so
You know what we're saying when they're saying DFT.
Yeah, we'll look at Labor, we'll take a close look at Labor Day stuff.
That's, the 6th.
Okay, so I'm just gonna real quick go
Setting up.
over the Siesta Key, the upcoming races that we have. Storm Series race is Siesta Key on 8/1. He did put a word out, this is Terry, the guy we were talking about before, obviously you guys know. He's asking for volunteers, so if anybody feels so inclined. And also, I mean, as a group, as a Storm, we have never really supported him that well. Many reasons, and I'm just gonna leave it up to individuals if you want to volunteer for him or not.
Just anyone who's doing the race this weekend, bring your own water. I mean, he'll have water at the start and he'll have water at the end, but there's not gonna be water stops.
And I believe Tina's gonna bring the tent. She volunteered, she wondered if there was people racing. I'm gonna confirm there's people, are you racing too?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna volunteer.
But you're racing,
Yeah, and it's not that you're
I
racing,
wouldn't
but we're
exactly
also,
call it racing.
well,
we're also.
Competing, Bob.
On the water thing, if he does the same thing he did in the last race, he has the little bottles,
Yeah.
not this big. They are absolutely the perfect size. As you're running by the table, grab one, stick it in your pocket. And you'll have one for the halfway point to take the drink, pour it over your head, whatever you want.
and then the other races coming up is, Sand Key in Clearwater, like we talked about, is September 25th. That should be a beautiful race out there in Clearwater Beach. That is a race series race. And everybody remember, when you do these race series races, you're supposed to email Dom and,
Storm Sarasota Races 21@gmail.com.
right, I need to remember to put that in every email I send.
It's on the event.
But it's on the event,
And I won't be here.
and you just email him, do a snap of your standings. I don't know, are you honoring if they just tell you what place they were in, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so,
look it up.
so just, okay, you'll check it out. And then upcoming social events, which is a lot what we're about here as the Storm Club. We're kind of social people that have a triathlon problem. And August 21st, Saturday, we're gonna have a happy hour, our next happy hour. It's gonna be in the Lakewood Ranch area, because a few members requested that we have it over towards Lakewood Ranch. tentatively at Sculler's Tap House, but as soon as I confirm that, I'll create an event, put it on the Facebook page, and that'd be probably at 6 p.m.
There's also a brewery in Lakewood Ranch now, they have food there. What is it?
Naughty Monk.
The Naughty Monk.
Naughty Monk.
It's right on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard.
That's 64, that's
Well,
pretty.
there's Calusa, which is further south, I go to,
It's between 64
We'll
and
we'll
around
consider it another
70.
time. And then, the monthly meeting, of course, you guys, mark your calendars, is the 25th of August. We are going to try to plan a bowling night. Pimps and hoes will be the theme.
How was that? President's idea.
But you know, costume bowling night, and tentatively that's Saturday the 28th. Details to follow. We're still
August 25th or 28th?
August 28th.
28th.
Saturday.
Yeah.
The Storm Annual Century Ride is coming up. Mark your calendars for September 18th. This is always a big fun event. We meet, we bike. We'll have 3 different courses. We're going to meet at Nokomis Beach, and you either ride 20 some miles, or a metric century, or a full century. And then afterwards we'll have food, giveaways, party on the beach. So
What
that's
date
a
is
big
that?
fun, that is Saturday, the 18th of September.
That's the
And-
weekend before Sandkey.
It is, the
Yeah.
weekend before Sankey. And that is, there will be an event, there'll be a link, you'll sign up, there'll probably be a minimal fee to register for that, just to help offset some of the costs. And then the next road cleanup, mark your calendars, we'd like a few more people next time, is, and it doesn't have to be the same people every time, obviously. Saturday, October 16th, and October 16th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
October. And we meet at Stallmeyer Smokehouse right across the street here. We've adopted a stretch of this road right here, Fruitville Road, in both directions, and we meet 4 times a year and clean it. And then afterwards, we stay and have a little bit of a meal and some drinks and
That's October.
relax. So that's also a nice feeling to get that road cleaned. It was,
Yeah, and
it was
almost
pretty.
all the people are here who participated
Yeah,
this
yeah,
past
yeah,
weekend. So I want to thank you guys.
And then the last thing, I want you guys to mark your calendars in October. This should be a blast. This is a new idea. On Saturday, the 30th of October, and this will be a costume thing. It's gonna be a ride and tie event. And a lot of details still to follow, but basically you're gonna wear costumes. We're gonna have like a white elephant type partner set up, so people can show up with their bikes. We're gonna all meet in a parking lot at, on the trail. And what do they call that parking lot? Culver House parking lot.
No, we talked about, the Macintosh Trail.
Oh, the Macintosh Trail.
There's a bit more room
Yeah.
at Culver House, so that's way better parking.
Culver House.
We'll figure that, that's
We'll
not.
figure that
Culver
out.
House is
We'll
better.
figure that out.
Yeah.
But like the people who show up that day, it's gonna be like a white elephant set up to partner up. And there'll be a course that's like a couple miles or a mile and a half out, and a mile and a half back or whatever. And the deal with ride and tie, one person rides the bike, you have to share a bike. So you don't know who you're gonna end up with and what size bike you're gonna be on. But one person rides a certain distance, leaves the bike and takes off running. The next person who was running gets the bike, rides and catches up. At every road crossing, you have to be together as a team to cross the roads. And we'll see how that all goes and who finishes.
So it doesn't have to be your
What
high-end
do you-
tri
what's
bike,
gonna
you
do
could
if she
use
gets
the
my
beach
bike?
cruiser, it doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
would, well, if you show up at the meeting
know
of the
what
month,
Right.
that month,
We-
then you
How's
get
that gonna
to
work?
choose your partner. You get to do a white elephant type of
The
exchange.
So you and Tina are gonna
Partnering
team up.
works.
Yeah, it would have to be.
You draw a partner.
No, it's gonna be a draw thing.
Right.
That's why I'm saying everybody should show up with a bike, because if you got a small and a big person, you might have to use the small bike. Like if you got partnered with Jamie,
There you go.
you guys both have your bikes there, obviously you're gonna need to use your bike.
And you
But how
don't
the-
want a tri-bike,
how's
you're
that
gonna
gonna
want
work?
like a mountain
But how the
bike.
white elephant thing would work is the first person you get
Picks
to
the
pick,
partner.
picks the partner,
That's the white
and
elephant,
then
right?
the next
You're doing
person
the
gets
other
to either choose one of those people or
Steal your partner.
steal your partner or choose a new partner. It works, it's really fun.
Okay.
You end up with some
I'm gonna wait
combination.
for written instructions.
There won't be written instructions, but we'll
There'll
make it
be
happen.
clear instructions
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the time.
So that's it kind of for the social events. Anybody have anything else? Okay,
No.
so we're gonna do our little meet the member thing now.
I was just gonna talk about I just wanna talk real quick about the t-shirts you see on the table.
Okay.
We were talking amongst the board and last month about opening what's called a spread shop. It's a company that does on-demand printing, which means we can offer our members a lot of other things other than just a single type shirt, and we don't have to inventory anything. So everything you see on the desk right there, I've ordered for my company from there just as little samples. They do hats, jackets, mugs, bags, sweatshirts, jackets, you name it. Other than you're not gonna have sports bras and kits. The Castelli stuff will still have to be handled that way, but it just gives us an option to have more different Storm stuff out there, and you can have different designs. You can have the Storm on the front, and then on the back you can put a saying of some sort, and you can choose different combinations of whatever you want that represents the Storm. So we end up looking more, when we're at a race, it's not everybody's in just one looking t-shirt. You can have different t-shirt looks, and still all be Storm.
And the big plus is we wouldn't have to bulk order and store stuff. People can go in there and one-off order whatever they want.
And the Storm does make a couple bucks off of every, $3, $4, $5, $8, whatever it is off of each item. So the Storm does have some income.
Which we would just turn around and spit back out.
Turn around and put it back into the Storm, of course, but yeah, and there's stickers. I mean, I have a sticker on the counter there somewhere, but it's just an easy way for us as a growing club to be able to offer more to our members.
You guys like the idea?
Yeah, I think print on demand is a really good way to go, so that you don't get stuck with merch.
A house, a room full of stuff,
People,
right? Yeah.
But are they gonna have the Storm design on it? or
Yes,
they'll
yeah.
have our official logo, so you can't
Make
print
sure
any.
it's red, not orange?
So it can be, here's the thing, you can choose your color shirt, or we could choose not to offer a color shirt.
We could offer a few colors.
Yeah, we
like
could offer white, red, gray, and black.
black or something like that.
Alright,
yeah.
so you can get the Storm color on a white shirt, a red shirt, a gray shirt, or a black shirt.
And these would just be t-shirts, caps,
Yeah, just stuff you wear around. They have golf shirts, they have,
Koozies or some.
yeah, they got 144 different items you can choose from.
towels.
Yeah.
So I think we'll move forward on that. And what we'll do is we'll end up putting the items we choose on the regular store and also on the Facebook page.
What it'll be is there'll be a
or
link,
something.
there'll be a link. And when you link to that, it takes you to the Storm store that has all the stuff, and you just click on that, click on that, click on that, click on that, give them your credit card number, and it took me a week and a half to get them in my hands.
Perfect.
What's the site called?
It's called Spread Shop.
Motion to implement this.
It's the same.
Okay, so now we're gonna do the meet the member portion
I
of the
just have one
program.
question,
Oh,
Kathy,
okay.
before you get into that.
Sorry.
The WOW, usually a lot of the women from our club go and do that, and I know they're having it this year, I don't remember what the date is.
And it conflicts with something of ours, I
Is it?
think. I'll look into it though and I'll,
Okay.
okay. Cause we could certainly put it out there as an event and, make sure people know about it, there's just big choices.
And just to give you an update, I did follow up with Dawn again, and as far as I know, the safety bike class that they were doing, has not been rescheduled as
Okay.
yet. I might win.
Well, if you find out about it and she's willing to have us, just make that an event for us as well
Yeah.
and put it out there. Thank you. Okay, so Linda, you're up, girl. She's gonna tell us a little bit about her and we'll all feel like we know her a little better when this is done.
Probably most everybody knows most of them is sick.
You never know, there's new people here.
She's like here. Where do you want me?
Just up here. Walk up front and I'll.
Right
Front of
up
the camera.
Oh, okay.
Front and center.
Standing up.
Sandy, whatever makes you comfortable.
Well, what I don't want is that light shining in my eye.
Alright. Where's the light? There we go. Good, good.
Okay, I gotta wait for the circles. Should I start?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Linda Leparulo. My husband Bruce and I, we moved here full-time in 2017 from New Jersey. Just very brief background information. I've been married 35 years. I have 2 grown children, one in New Jersey, one in Maryland. And as soon as my daughter and son-in-law get done hiking the AT and sunning in Maine, she better start making a baby.
We'll send her the video.
Maybe they're making a baby on the trail.
I was a lawyer in New Jersey and practiced for quite a few years, but I started doing some other things and I haven't practiced in a few years. I've also done a fair amount of volunteering with disadvantaged populations, which is something I still do and I intend to continue doing going forward. I wasn't particularly athletic growing up, and in fact, I was overweight for most of my life, but I did learn to swim as a very young child, and I grew up going to the beach, the New Jersey shore, where they have real waves, unlike the waves that people talk about at Siesta. And other than some quarter-mile swims that I would do when I would go down to the beach and swim from one lifeguard stand to the last one, and 1 or 2 mile swims, I spend most of my time swimming laps in the pool at the Y. I got into endurance cycling in 2010 after several relatives on both sides of my family came down with leukemia and lymphoma. In 2010, I decided to fundraise for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to raise money to fund research and support for those blood cancers. So I decided to do a century bike ride around Lake Tahoe. Up until then, I had never really cycled more than 30 miles, maybe with 1 or 2 exceptions. So when I did my first training, my first century, I was like, I don't know, maybe 230 pounds. And my coach told me later that he figured that I would drop out and wouldn't make it to Tahoe. But I am very persistent, I'm not a quitter. And I did raise the money and I did do the ride. And I went on over the next 9 years to do century rides with LLS and raise over $50,000. Along the way, I did manage to lose 70 pounds and started dabbling in running, doing a few 5Ks, 10Ks, and 1 or 2 half marathons. So fast forward to how I got into triathlons. I had done 2 sprints in New Jersey and was kind of interested in it. You know, I knew that I could swim, I knew that I could bike. I'm kind of the tortoise on the running part of it, but I figured there was room for improvement. When I got to Florida and I started going to a local gym, I met Karen Siv, who a lot of people here know, and she told me about the Try Your Heart Out that you had at the Y, and I think your last one was either 2018 maybe, and I did that. And so then I also started swimming at the beach with Meet Me at Blue, where I met a few people from here, and I met Sheila. And Sheila is the one that actually got me, brought me to my first storm meeting. You guys were all very welcoming and helpful, and Sheila was Sheila, and you all know what I mean by that. That's the possible way. So, up until then, I had only done a sprint, and I kind of had an interest in doing something more than that, but I really wasn't sure. I also decided that I wanted to continue fundraising for LLS, but I wanted to do something other than a century ride. So when I heard that they were sponsoring the St. Anthony's ride in 2020, I thought, well, that's great. They have an Olympic, I'll sign up for that. So I did. And then it got canceled and got deferred to 2021, this past April. And I thought, okay, that gives me lots of time to get ready to run a 10K. But then it got deferred again to October. So prior to that deferral, Sheila and all of you talked me into signing up for GFT because that had been deferred and they had this crazy discount and everyone talked about what a great race it was. And I thought, well, okay, I guess maybe if I could run 6 miles, I could run 10 miles. So I signed up for the 1/3, but not realizing at the time that St. Anthony's and GFT were going to be so close together. So I haven't quite figured out how that's going to work out. And I've been having some issues with running with my hips and flexors and all of that are causing me discomfort, but I still really do want to do the run, although people have told me, oh, just do the swim bike, but we'll see.
But you did Heartland.
I did Heartland, yes, I did do Heartland. That was my first Olympic, and the run was tough, but I finished it.
Yes, you did.
And I am used to riding hills from being in New Jersey, so I know that I can ride hills. So the course in Claremont, which I did a couple weeks ago with everyone, I made it up those hills, I didn't stop. I did fall twice off my bike, but that's a different issue. Not because of the hills, just because of my cleats, and I'm hoping to fix that problem. So I'm ready, I'm preparing, I'm training, and here I am in 2021. As of Sunday, August 1st, I'll be on Medicare payday. And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life and what I want my life to be like in Sarasota. I hope triathlons continue to be a part of it, and I enjoy the friendly competition and the friendships that come along with it, because you guys have all been very welcoming and very helpful. And that's all I have to say, unless somebody has a question.
Favorite race you've done?
Favorite triathlon?
Favorite event? Anything.
It probably would be Miami. Partly because I placed, and I got a really cool trophy.
What was Miami? What was
The
That
Challenge
was at
Miami?
the Homestead.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Miami
In
Challenge.
March.
Awesome.
Yeah, the challenge, yeah. The coldest race that I've done was without a doubt in January up at Henderson.
So how was the Lake Placid bike ride? Was that hilly
I-
by New Jersey standards?
Yeah, the.
In Tahoe?
I mean Tahoe, I
Well,
mean Lake
you're at
Tahoe.
elevation, that's a challenge. So you go out there a couple days early to get used to the altitude, and you do some hiking, maybe a little bit of riding if you want to, because it starts out at over 5,000 feet, and I think at its highest point, maybe it's 7,500 feet.
Yeah.
So there's about, over the Century Ride, there's about maybe 4,500, 5,000 feet of climbing, which over 100 miles is really not that bad. Because I've done a race an event in New Jersey. That's a Century Ride that has 9,000 feet of climbing, and that's in New Jersey where the highest elevation is 1,100 feet. So it's just lots of up and down.
Wow, that's awesome. They have those annual Century rides there in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, they do it. It's called America's Most Beautiful Bike Ride.
Yes.
And it's been virtual the last 2 years, but I believe they're planning, unless something changes, on having it be.
It's hilly there.
Next year. Excuse me?
It's hilly there.
Yeah.
It is hilly there.
But beautiful. I mean, gorgeous.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and you can do lots more climbing there, depending on
Oh,
where,
yeah.
because it goes up a lot higher.
That was awesome. You did a great job. Thank you. Okay, and then we're to the last portion of the program. Last but not least, we're gonna have Marcus teach us about Zwift. So everybody kind of, feel free to gather around. He's gonna project up here on the screen. Anything you've ever wanted to know about Zwift but was afraid to ask.
Ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
He is too funny, I love it.
Were you gonna say something about the kind of trainer that you're on, or
Yes.
is that not relevant?
I will, once we,
Well, I know, but I didn't know if it was just about Zwift.
Kathy, do you need to wake up now?
It's so awake. Wonder if the connection, maybe. Okay, yeah, I think it's you. There we go.
This thing's better. Come on.
Notes.
They've been sitting by for 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
Yours went to sleep.
Yeah.
There we are. I'm excited about it.
Okay.
Do you use Zwift?
All right.
I'm usually on there.
And they just they go.
So, for Zwift, first, what is it? It's this virtual world of cycling where you can ride or work out or train. And what you need for Zwift, you really need 4 things. You need a bike. You need some form of trainer. Now, this is what they call a smart trainer. It can be a regular trainer, one of those wheel-on ones that has resistance against the wheel. And then you use your gears and the resistance of the training wheel to drive the power that you use. This sort of smart trainer can set the power that you have to ride at. So there's a little more intelligence in it, and the power that you ride at is more reliable when you're using a smart trainer like this on Zwift.
Is there a smart trainer where you don't have to remove your rear wheel?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I want.
There's a trainer made, there's the one that instantly comes to mind, Tax.
Tax has a, this is a Tax Neo 2, which is a Garmin company. They have one where you have a wheel on, which obviously is simple in a way.
Is it more wear and tear on your
It's
bike?
more wear and tear definitely on your rear wheel. The other thing to watch out for with something like this is, especially when you're doing it indoors, you tend to sweat a lot more on a trainer like this. So actually, when I say you need 4 things, you really need 5 things. You need a fan, a big, powerful fan like out here, preferably one behind, one above, because you sweat a lot, and you sweat, especially on a good bike, you can ruin a good bike with sweat.
Is that why I see some people with a big wadded up towel on the top of
You
the
can buy
bike?
sweat mats that go on the top, you put
Yeah.
towels underneath.
Yeah, you definitely want something underneath so you don't.
Okay.
Honestly, what I think is, okay, you've got to have the money to do this, but the best solution
You're
is to
on
have a bike.
different bike.
This is not a bike I bought off Facebook Marketplace, so it's just the right size. I put a new saddle on it that's the same as the one I ride on.
Yeah.
But it's a 58-inch frame, so it's the same geometry as I ride on. But this cost me like $400, and it's on all the time. So the beauty of having it on the trainer all the time, and it's in the garage in winter, or I use it in a room inside in summer, is it's there. I can go put the shoes on, be on the bike and riding like in 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's
Right.
super quick and easy. You can get an hour and a half's ride in like an hour and 45 minutes. So it's really easy for that. But as I said, you need 4 things. So you bike, trainer, smart trainers are, when you get serious about it, they're better basically. But there's nothing wrong with riding on a wheel-on trainer. It's just the power numbers you get are not as reliable.
And if you use a wheel-on trainer, you gotta get a speedometer and a cadence to
Right.
make it all work.
Okay.
Right.
So the smart
Oh,
trainer is the way to
dedicated
go.
bike.
Smart trainer is definitely the way
Smart
to go.
trainer is the way to go. I mean, the ultimate way to go,
Pricey,
people who really
though.
want to do it, is what they call a smart bike. So you don't even bother with a road bike. You have, it's almost like the bike you ride when you get a bike fit.
Yeah.
So it's all one thing, and it's an adjustable bike. So then more people in the household can ride it because you can adjust the bike.
Could that be like
A
a
smart bike.
Peloton bike?
It's more like a mechanical racing bike because it's more geared shape-wise to be a road bike.
Okay.
But they're about $3.5 grand, I think, probably. So that's more of a money no object thing. But if you're going to have to buy 2 of these because 2 of you want to ride them a lot, a smart bike may be a better option. Third thing, you need a computer to get the app on it. And then the fourth thing, there's a Zwift companion app, which you can use to sort of enhance your ride or message people while you're riding through a companion app on the phone. So there's 2 things to download when you download Zwift. One's a little orange icon that you can see. 4th one down on the left column on my screen, which we'll go into, with an orange app with a Z in it. That's the main app. And when you look in the app store, the companion app, same Z font, but it's in a little pale blue circle.
Do you have your setup so that you're watching a big TV screen like that, or you're watching it on your computer?
I have this connected to a big monitor. So I've got like a 28-inch monitor or something. But you can use a PC, an iPad, Apple TV. You know,
Just your
anything.
phone.
You can use just your phone. You can just sit and look at the screen
So,
like that.
but can you use your phone but project it, or just use a TV?
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
mirror it, yeah, off the phone. Yeah.
So like I can run it on like my Samsung phone, and I can cast that to my Samsung TV. Or if you have an iPhone, and you have Apple TV, you can cast it to Apple TV, and that'll put it up on your TV screen.
Or you could buy a Chromecast for $35 and throw
Or
it
yeah.
in any TV.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
All right.
Okay.
So here we go. I'll just.
So in this app, you
Yeah.
can pick any course.
Right. We'll come in as we as we get going.
Welcome, Marcus.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Do you get to choose the voice?
No, I
No, that
don't-
was Kathy's.
That was Kathy. Yeah.
Oh.
Kathy even to record some voice at home.
Kathy's gonna do Siri voiceovers.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Jamie was saying, you can you pick where you ride and you pick what sort of ride you do. And so once this boots up, it'll come into that main screen where you make those choices.
Easy ride today? Yeah, right.
That's the pale blue, by the way.
Okay, that's what the other one in the phone looks like, that
Yeah.
pale blue.
So I know that.
Be sure to eat after your ride.
Triathlon coach, I forget who, if it was Tom or Eric, that used to post Zwift rides.
Eric posts them in the, once a week. Tom does them once in a while, doesn't he? I'm not
So
sure.
that people on a.
Yeah, the
team
outrival
can-
people do a weekly ride.
Every Thursday.
Right.
There we go. So just making sure it's paired up. So also it'll work on a heart rate monitor. So I forgot my Garmin, but it'll take heart off my wrist. It can work off an Apple Watch, but it's a bit picky as to whether it records it or not. So we won't have heart rate today. We'll just have power and cadence. Okay, so here's this main screen. As you can see, basically what you pick. There are at any time there's 3 worlds you can ride in, and there are some sort of Watopia is this sort of virtual world where they've created a whole bunch of courses for you to ride around. There's about 20 different routes in Watopia.
That's up at the top left.
That's at the top left.
Watopia,
That's
okay.
that one. And then there's Macquarie Island. That they put in some Japanese courses just recently. There's New York, which looks like New York, and then they've added some sort of virtual stuff on top of it.
New York 2045.
45. London looks like London. You're riding around the streets of central London and then out in the Surrey countryside. So I recognize places I'm riding in London. Same with Innsbruck, York, Richmond. There's a whole bunch in France as well, Paris. So at any one time, there are 3 you can choose from, and the little calendar down at the bottom right shows you which courses are sort of open. There's also a hack you can get where you can basically, if you load that on your laptop, you can ride anywhere you want at any time by running that before you start up Zwift. So if you, there are badges you can collect, for example. If you want to say, hey, I just want to go ride in London today on my own, you run that. But that's, like, when you get into it, you'll get into stuff like that. Normally, 3 places to ride, and so we'll pick, where's my mouse? There it is. We'll pick Watopia, and it said, first you go, okay, where do I want to ride? So there are all these routes you can pick. So there's, I say, 20 or so of these, so let's just pick. We'll just
Ocean
take that
lava
one.
cliffside.
We'll pick mountain roads for now. And it tells you the elevation. So this one's an 18.8 mile route with 2,200 feet of climbing. So, okay,
Wow.
we'll take that. The other thing you can do is the ride type. So I can either just go ride, or I can do some training. And we'll talk later, but there's also events and things you could join with other riders. But for now, we'll just say I'm riding on my own. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that if I want to train, they've got a whole set of workouts that you can do. Let's ignore these.
If any of you guys use Trainer Road, they basically have those types of workouts built into Zwift now.
Do you have a power meter on that?
Yes.
It's built in
The
the
smart
smart
trainer. So let's say, look, I've got less than 60 minutes to burn.
Okay.
So we'll do, this is a real nasty workout, it's called a Gorby. And so basically when you have a smart trainer and you do a workout, the trainer sets the resistance to set the work you're going to ride at. And the way it calibrates it, you can see the bottom right, there's this little chart. It starts off sort of gray and then goes blue, and then these red bars. When you first start riding on Zwift, you'll do what they call an FTP test, which tests basically the power you can put out on the bike over a 20-minute period. And based on that test, it calibrates the bike in a series of zones based on your power. So my FTP number is 225. So the different colors represent different percentages of my FTP. So if you do a workout with a bunch of other people who've also done an FTP test, it doesn't matter what their absolute number is. Say I could be riding with John who's at 250 or somebody who's at 400. If I'm riding in the red, we're all riding at basically the same power for us. So people tend to you stay together in a group that way because you're all putting out the same effort, basically.
Yes, but if you can't ride, you're not as capable of riding a steep incline as somebody else.
But if the machine's saying you need to ride at this power, if all the riders on the group are riding at that power for them, percentage, basically you all stay together. So if you're all riding at that red level, at the level the workout sets, you stay together.
Whether you're riding at 125 watts or he's riding at 225 watts, you're going to stay together because your percentage of
It's
your
sort of like I'm
FTP
riding
is the
less
same.
of an incline.
So that's the way, for example, for the Storm, if we did group workouts, we'd all stay together because it's based on each individual's power. It doesn't matter that Tom Egan could be, 400 watts down the road and the rest of us are 200 watts or something. We'll stay together based on that FTP test. So it's very cool that you do that, and it's also good because you can then push yourself by taking on different workouts that start to have more red, for example. So you do more challenging workouts. So it calibrates it, but for now we'll just ride. So we won't pick a workout, but there's endless workouts to pick on here, which is great for, you can do, it'll gear you for preparing for a century ride, or an 8-week course to build up your FTP, or, I mean, you name it, there's a ton of choices. So we will just ride.
So does it have the actual Ironman bike rides from different races?
Not in Zwift. They've got them in like
CompuTrain has
Ruby has them, RGT maybe, and
a few of them.
some of the other apps you can actually upload GPX files into it. But Ruby has some of those courses where, again, they've got the video rendering of the course too.
So Ruby is just another Zwift type
app. I mean,
Type app.
and this, I didn't say, you pay like $15 a month.
right?
There's a free trial up front, but after that you pay $15 a month to get access to this. But you can see one of the good things about Zwift is there's like 3,000 people riding right now. So
Ruby's a
and-
little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
This is more electronic.
yeah.
Ruby uses a live video, not like live, but it's a video course.
Of an actual
So,
course.
yeah, so when you're riding the Ironman Florida course in Ruby, you're riding the actual course. It's kind of like if you've ever gone on Google Maps and you just like punch in a street address and you can kind of like virtually walk through, the streets.
How much is Ruby per month?
It's about the same.
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 Yeah.
What you can do in Zwift is you could go to Best Bike Split, you could download the elevation course for whatever route you want to ride,
Here we go.
and you can convert it into an FTP-based workout based on the elevation, and then you can upload a custom workout to Zwift, and then you can just ride that workout, and it'll
And
simulate
they're
the
similar to
elevation.
the race you'll be doing.
All right. So
I assume, Marcus, you've done many of these different ones, and this is the one you like the most? Zwift?
Zwift's the only one I've joined.
Okay.
I've done a ride or two on Ruby, but I haven't investigated others that much.
Okay.
Ruby, I like, and the graphics are so good on that that it's more.
Are you a
realistic.
member, are you on that one?
We are now.
Yeah, we use Ruby.
Is it any?
used it to do-
Have you
more
used
tax-
Zwift?
Is there any more taxing on your computer to have the actual
I
graphics?
cast it from my phone, it works fine.
Okay.
All right.
And then he projects it onto our TV.
So what you get? So that's me there in the black shirt, and you can customize what you wear, all this kind of stuff, and you can
You
customize
have
the
to
bike
earn. You have
ride.
to earn though the ability to customize.
Yes. Yeah. As you ride miles, you go up in different levels of Zwift. And there are like 50 levels, and I'm at like 28, I think, right now. And you can just about see that. And that top bar in the center of the screen, the very bottom left corner of that, there's a bike, and it says 28, I think. You can
Yeah,
see.
it says 28.
But I'll start moving in a minute. You can run with Zwift as well. The guy that just came past was running. So once it picks up, it rides at my cadence.
Oh yeah, his legs are
So-
moving at your cadence.
So I'm going 76 RPM. I'll just, all right, let's go. Yeah, go a little bit.
What's the top number?
So that's my power. And then below that's the cadence, 71 RPM. And if I had my heart rate monitor on, the bottom right there would have my heart rate. And then you can,
So this is a pretty
there are
video.
timed segments on here. And that'll come up where it says Hilly Loop. Those are people who are riding that course right now.
So that's a real person you're passing?
Yes.
Yes.
Real person actually riding.
There are no like non-player characters in the game.
It's real people.
Everyone you see is a real.
They're all, right.
Do you need an
So
actual
you're in
heart rate?
California there, it looks like.
Yeah, this is this virtual world Watopia.
Okay.
And there's a little map at the top right that's showing me where I am in Watopia. And then that bar down the right is other riders that are near me
Okay.
going the same way. It's actually pretty empty right now.
You'll see people going the other way.
I see
'cause you
W.
turn around and go the
Miller
other
or
way.
whatever down there at the bottom, in
Yeah.
the middle. Who's that? Is that somebody you,
That's somebody that's behind you, right, Mark?
oh, is that somebody behind you?
That
you
one's
see the
behind me.
list?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
guy
right
9 seconds in front of me.
Are there ever any collisions?
Oh, you ride right through
No,
people.
you're right.
You ride through people? Okay, I was wondering.
Now
I
the
was
other
wondering
thing
when
you
you
can
took off.
see along the bottom of the screen,
Yeah,
that's tracking my power output.
okay.
So I'm in zone 2 right now, which is the blue zone. So I'm just in the endurance zone. So in
You're
theory, I
breathing
should be able
hard.
to do this.
He's
No,
not
I
warmed
shouldn't
up.
be.
Everything's exactly
Well, yeah,
the
I
same
mean, yeah.
all the time, except those yelling at you.
And this little thing at the bottom middle is telling you there's a turn coming up and you can go that way if you want.
Right, so I'm about to hang a left.
And you physically have to turn, or no, it just
No,
turns you?
it just
That's
turns
the
me.
route, right? I mean, that's predetermined.
Yes.
What you see on-
I'm on this mountain road.
No, they don't come up sometimes when they give you a choice of going straight or turning left, and
And can you
I haven't
see
figured out
are you like climbing right now?
Hold on, I'm just.
Yeah, so he's actually
Is it
going
gradient?
downhill right
Okay,
Yeah.
down right now, where do you see that?
up in that
Right
corner.
over here,
Yeah,
you'll see a slope, and it'll either be going up or down.
Okay,
Right
or-
now it says -2 degrees, or -2%, so he's on a.
Oh,
There you
that's
go,
much
there you go, there you
better.
go.
That's good.
That's much better.
Where did you get your training in bike?
This one?
Yeah.
Got it online. I think I got it through a link off DC Rainmaker's site. So just somebody online. I didn't buy it direct from Garmin that makes them.
Did you buy it new, or you?
Yes. I was lucky enough, we had a fitness subsidy at work. So I got $1,000 or $750 towards stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
So over 2 years, I bought $1,500 worth.
That's smart
Bike stuff.
for a company to do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's very few people around.
Well, I like Watopia though, it's
But-
pretty.
Yeah.
The best time, if you want to be riding with a lot of people, the best time is in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah.
It's also, there's a lot more people, a lot more Americans ride in winter too, obviously, and Europeans.
Can you wave people
Northern
as they
Hemisphere.
pass you?
You give them thumbs
You
up.
can, you can,
Well, you have to be able to
have-
touch you.
if you have
I
a
gotta go down,
companion
you're
app,
going underwater, coming underwater now.
or if you're
Yeah.
using.
Oh, look at that, Lisa. He's riding under a tunnel,
I'm in a tunnel.
underwater.
Something with a touch
Do
screen.
you use this more this time of year when it's still hot out? Or do you use it all year?
I found I didn't start riding on Zwift till like, crap. I've got power, but I don't know if we can connect it up.
That'll fit us in for sure.
He needs his,
The power cord is.
he needs his power cord.
It's in that bag, I think. Yeah. There you go.
Marcus, you sure that's not your battery running low, or?
Yeah.
Where's the mount?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I got it. We may have to curtail
There's
that.
the wall outlet over here.
I have 3 sons, and they all have Pelotons.
Uh-huh.
And they race each other, they challenge each other every
I
night.
don't know.
Fun.
I don't think we
So
can get.
this kind of thing also, you could get on there with groups. I
The
see
only
that.
difference is that this one you have a visual,
Didn't go
Peloton
anywhere.
has somebody screening it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah, I've seen those
It's like a
commercials.
spin class.
Yeah.
I've got an extension cord
Are you
in there too. Yeah. We might get.
How do you train these? Bringing the bikes out.
No, Marcus, if we,
Remember that?
There's one.
That was my first.
Yeah, you might.
if I unplug the trainer, I don't know if it's gonna drop you.
I want to grasp.
How long is this extension cord? There's another outlet just on the
That's
wall.
again 2-plug. So it's a 2-plug cord, green cord.
So if I unplug this and plug.
You won't be able to plug that one in because it's only 2-plug 2.
Yeah, but if he plugs that way, then he does that.
Yeah, but you won't be able to plug that.
Oh, there's no ground on it?
Right, there's no ground.
There's an outlet right here.
We need to move the computer out of the jack.
What do you want?
Although, actually, realistically, do we need it? We do Q&A, but.
I mean, if you run out of juice, maybe that's when it'll end. Does anybody have other questions, or we just gonna watch Marcus work out?
Well, what I like about this is, I mean, more of the people we know
Do Zwift.
do Zwift.
Yeah.
So I don't know anyone else who does Ruby.
Do you meet up with people and do Zwift?
Yeah, let's see, hold on.
So it would be nice, like, when, you know, if we get rained out or our weather or something, we have
Let's see
a,
what
we
time,
have a
what time
backup
is
plan
it?
for our workouts.
Right now it's
7:43.
I might be able to join the event.
So Marcus, wouldn't you say you've gotten stronger since you've been doing this?
Yes.
Do you need your glasses? Since Daytona, he has changed so much since Daytona.
He's gotten a lot stronger from this.
Okay, now,
You can identify your friends.
I just signed up
can you
for
hit the
the
let's go?
You did? Yep.
I've just, on On the phone app, there you go. It's, you can see all the events that are on Zwift. And I just picked a random event to join. It's going to take me over there now. So you'll see the third thing, other than just riding or doing workouts, you can join events where you either ride in a group or race in a group.
So where are you going now?
I'm going to a Crit City race.
Yeah, there's a virtual world called Crit City that's where they do the races, and it's just loading it right now.
Yeah, although it's
One of the things.
here we go. 2 minutes. I'll see if we last for 2 minutes.
So yeah, the race starts in 2 minutes.
One of the things you can do on this, Marcus, is let's just say I'm following Brian, Brian's following me, and I jump on Zwift and he's getting ready, and he sees me pop up that I'm on Zwift. He could jump in and literally jump in right with me.
Right.
So if you know something, you don't have to go find them. You just say go. You just tell the game to go find the person, and it just drops you right in.
And now you can send messages to the group. See on the right hand side that box, it says message to the group.
Yeah.
For some reason it's not coming up on my phone. I'm still stuck in the join the event, but we'll see.
There you go.
Maybe, I don't know if you can send messages. Oh, someone just.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not.
Oh, that's funny. They're all on their trainers warming up.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yes.
So people that are pedaling, it shows on a trainer, and people are just sitting there waiting to start. It doesn't show them
Take
spinning.
that from me.
I
Brian, you want
think
to take my
it
phone a
makes-
second?
Because look, there's some people not pedaling.
Yeah, but you want to be warmed up for the start. There's only 19 people. We'll do a little. I'll race a little bit.
Fun.
There's a lot of different things
This
you
is-
can learn too. If you see one of the people, the guy with the glowing wheels, what do you have to do something to get the Tron wheels?
You have to do the Everest challenge.
And you have to climb 164,000 vertical feet.
In
do
one
that.
time?
No, yeah, over the lifetime.
Over.
Oh, and then you
Turn
get
the challenge
glowing
off.
wheels?
Yeah, you get the.
I forgot to turn it
on.
on.
Well, that's the presentation on Zwift.
Yeah.
Hey, though, I mean, to me, it took a lot of the mystery away. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't have to race. I was about to have to go off. I'm like,
We couldn't figure out a way to plug him in.
It's not close enough to an outlet, unless we can find
Thank you, Marcus, and I'm gonna kill the video.
There's an outlet.